What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Doing the Benromach 40-year-old batch 1 and 2 in front of me here. This was part of a tasting from KWM, which included the bottle or the barrel that Jeremy and I picked for the Whiskey Rant, the Benromach 10-year-old sherry cask. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the actual tasting with everybody else, but I figured I'll use this opportunity and review the batch 1 and 2 because I got the chance to try the batch 3 at Toronto's Spirit of Toronto this year, and that was absolutely incredible. So I have high hopes for these guys. I'm gonna nose them, taste them, and give them a mark if I can. Okay, so these have been sitting for a good 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer actually, because I poured them out and I played mini sticks with my son. For those of you that don't know what mini sticks are, they're just basically mini hockey sticks with 2 mini nets, and we play in the basement over here. So they've had a great chance to open up, and as you can tell on the nose, they have done that. Batch 1 has an incredible candy-like cherry note. Batch 2, very similar as well, but a little bit more sherry on the batch 2 on the nose. Really nice like chocolate notes as well. Something like the faintest eucalyptus note. The most faint eucalyptus note. Surrounded by like dark raisins and chocolate. Milk chocolatey on the nose for the batch 2. Batch 1 leans more toward that like candy cherry kind of note. Really interesting. Very, very nice. (57.6%). Palate's great. So rich. So sweet. Great viscosity. Decent amount of heat to it, despite the age being 40. That cherry, now borderline like medicinal kind of cherry note. Slightest touch of smoke. And like a matchstick kind of sulfur in the background, but like very, 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 very faint for the batch 1. This is the trouble of, so Spirit of Toronto, for those of you that don't know, it's a big whiskey event and you're getting small portions of lots of different types of whiskeys. The problem with something like that is you kind of blow your palate maybe halfway through the night, if not sooner, and you're trying so many different things, so it's really hard to get a good feel for what a whiskey is like. This is obviously a much more true form to how these whiskeys will perform. Yeah, the batch 2's nose is unreal. Definitely the winner of the 2 on the nose. See the palate? Yeah, well, that's more up my alley, I think. So, none of that matchstick at all. It's all chocolate, raisin, touch of cherry, maybe a slight touch of eucalyptus. Not really getting smoke much on either of these. Maybe a little bit more on the batch 1 than the batch 2. Batch 2 is 56.5. Again, batch 1 is 57.6. Yeah, I mean, assuming that there's nothing going on with my glasses or going on with these samples, and this is the most true taste of both of these, I am definitely leaning more toward the 2. Gonna sip each one at least one more time and then give them both a mark. Yeah, batch 1's good. The finish with that matchstick is kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'm sure this bottle was cracked, poured into samples, so it didn't have a ton of time to get oxygen to the liquid. But my guess is that that would go away after a little bit of time. So the 2 doesn't have any of that matchstick. One more taste of the 2. Not as close as I would think. I remember the batch 3 being absolutely phenomenal, and it's very hard to judge that one because of, like I said, all the other whiskeys I had that night and how true to my palate I was after maybe at least 10 whiskeys that I tried up until that point. But out of these 2, for sure I'm gonna go with the 2. And I'm gonna give it a 92. It's phenomenal. Really, really good. I can just imagine this getting way better in a bottle after some time working it down. Yeah, that's excellent whiskey. The batch 1, I don't want to mark it based on what I'm tasting right now because I feel like it's probably not a fair comparison, but we're here, so we're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna save this last sip of the 2. Yeah, even on the nose, I'm getting that matchstick. It's pretty good, but in comparison to the 2, it's probably not really in the same ballpark from what I'm tasting right now. And it's crazy how quickly that's developed in the time of this review. The nose, now that it's one of those things, once you get it, it doesn't go away. Like once you smell it, taste it, it's there. You cannot ignore it after that. Yeah. So for that reason, I have to give this one like an 87. I'd be reluctant to buy it for the price based on how it's tasting, whereas the batch 2 I'd buy in a heartbeat. Obviously, if I had the money. It's super expensive. I think these are close, like over 2,500 Canadian. So but yeah, these really are a 5-point difference. The batch 2 is significantly better in my opinion. Batch 1's good, don't get me wrong. 87 is a good mark, but for the price, I don't think I'd be satisfied with that bottle, whereas the batch 2 is easily a 92 and probably would go up if I had time with the bottle. That's it for me, guys. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked the video, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can support this channel on Patreon. Cheers.